especially if you can do that with the shares. So the ticker symbol which you're watching right now is GLD to the downside. This will be for a swing trading position. If they continue to pull back, I will be keeping an eye out for this 387 level. Just keep an eye out. VIX is still at 25. The volatility is still going to be crazy elevated. So yesterday, if you notice the markets, you can see the zone, the range which it's been having on a day-to-day basis, right? Yesterday, they've been consolidating from 606 to 604 on QQQ, by the way. They broke out of ORB highs, hit the initial target at 608, and then from 608, this thing dropped all the way to 595s, by the way. All happened in an intraday, in the trading day when the markets are open. You will see these types of moves because the VIX is at 25. All it's telling you is you are going to see huge moves like this on an intraday basis. Look at SPY, for instance, right? They opened at 666. They dropped all the way to like 657s. And if you notice something, you're going to see the options prices are through the roof as well. You're going to see the 0-day expirations, which used to be dead cheap prior, right now costing you an arm and leg. That is because the volatility expanded. So if you're going to buy options, be very careful. But especially if you're dealing with a smaller sized accounts. And last week we discussed about looking into the strategy called credit spreads. Hopefully, if you're returning from the last time, hopefully you guys had a chance to look into these option strategies, credit spreads and debit spreads. These are the option strategies which you should be looking into, especially on times like this, right? Especially if you're having a smaller sized accounts. Sounds complicated, but trust me, it's not. It's just going to take you like 30 minutes or 45 minutes of research to get a hang of how to open a credit spread, how to open a debit spread. It's going to limit your risk to a massive extent compared to you just buying calls or puts. And it also opens doors for you to trade stocks like Tesla or Nvidia or Meta on a smaller sized accounts. All right. Look into it. Will be a game changer from the risk standpoint as well as from what do you call it? From the IV standpoint, from the implied volatility standpoint as well. All right. So the theta will be working in your favor on times like this, unlike you buying regular calls and puts. And look into it. What a lot of resources available on YouTube, by the way. Use this weekend to research the same when it comes to how these things works. Gonna help you big time. Is there a recording on last week on spreads? Should have been. Last week we just discussed about what these spreads actually means, but we didn't go over it. But there should be a recording for last week when we opened the positions on SQQQ, Meta, on all those stuff. So let me look into it. I'll post it right here. All right. So we didn't talk about spreads in the last week's session, though. Maybe if we have time, once the session is over, we can discuss it shortly in this session today. This was the last week's recording. I just shared it in the Zoom. So don't worry about it right now. I'm telling you, we didn't discuss more about our spreads in the last weeks. Maybe today we will find time. We can talk about it more in this session. That's what he had to say. All right, so let's take a look. Like when it comes to QQQ today, looking like absolute trash. So most what we're going to do is we are just going to be waiting on this one. And yesterday's close was not so good when it comes to QQQ. Expect huge swings in either directions, as always. Today, if you look at the pre-market lows, QQQ dropped all the way towards this $592 to the downside, by the way, and enable the extended hours. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about, right? So this area of interest right here at 592.13s towards this 590s. In case of a pullback today, if you're looking for a reversal trade, if you're going to trade QQQ, look for this 592 area to the downside. When on days like this, the less you trade, the more you make. Just because we trade a lot doesn't automatically transfer to us making more money. More transactions doesn't mean more money is what I'm trying to say, right? Wait for this 592 pullback. If we get that opportunity for a reversal, we can take it from there. Right now, the price is trading at 518, and it's pretty understandable to think that we can't get that push to the downside. Well, don't even worry about it. 598, that is absolutely nothing burger when the VIX is trading at 25 and change. If we continue to push through, 592 is what I'm looking for. From 592, if we bounce up, that's going to be a quick trade to the upside. If you're trading through futures, doesn't really matter. But we will be keeping an eye out on trading this through the ticker symbol TQQQ, by the way. Once the QQQ hits 592, we can just go long by buying some shares on TQQQ. If you're trading with the smaller sized accounts, especially, this is going to be a game changer, by the way. You can still make a decent amount of money by trading shares, but the advantage here is if you're wrong in particular, especially on markets like what we're having right now, your goal, especially if you're new to the markets, or it doesn't matter if you have some experience, the goal is to lose as less as possible. These volatilities can be a game changer and also can be a portfolio killers at the same time, right? You can make a lot of money and you can also blow up your accounts. I don't like that risk. I would much rather lose less and make as much as I can with the little risk as possible, rather than risking half of my portfolio and lose it only to be right because they just wicked me out, right? So look into this TQQQ if the markets pull back towards this 592 level zone QQQ. And if they pull back towards 590, even better to the downside. So what I'm looking for is this level of 586 to the downside today in case of a nasty, nasty sell-off. I've been saying this over and over. As long as we are, let me remove all these indicators so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, right? Go to the daily charts on QQQ. You see this huge candle on Friday? Anything which happens in between, as long as we're between this range, it's just noise, by the way. So if you notice the Mondays, October 13th, October 14th, 15th, 16th, this is what we call as inside days, by the way. Did you notice how the price action for this week is within the highs and lows, the range of this huge red candle? This is what we call as inside days, by the way. So you can look into this a term. I'm just going to post it right here, inside days. All right. Look this term up once the meeting is over. Might offer you more insight. So right here, the range of this green candle, I'm just going to, red candle in particular, I'm just going to draw it with a box. Don't worry about the others, right? This box right here from 588 all the way up towards that previous all-time highs, which is currently at around 613. As long as the price is trading within this range, everything which happens in between is a noise, just a noise. These types of reversal candle, if you noticed, if you've been trading for quite some time, let me remember the time during 2021, I think 21st of January. Let's take a look. 21st of January 2021, if I'm not wrong, the same day, same pullback, nasty candles leading to further pullback to the downside happened. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? 21st. Is it 2021 or 2022? I believe this should be in 2022. Hold on. Right here, I believe. Well, let's see. Yep. So 24th of February, and I believe it should be 24th of January as well. Yep. So right here, if you'll notice this is the reversal type, by the way. We saw a huge red candle today, and similar to that, you can see the huge green candle reversal right here on Jan 24th of 2022 and the Feb 24th of 2022 as well. And you can see what happened later, right? So these are all what we call as reversal candles, by the way. So there's another term for it, also called as elephant bars. So take a look at it, go ahead and research on it. These are all reversal candles. Every time you see candles like this, it's just going to tell you the buyers are getting involved for a push to the upside and vice versa. So what we have right now is such candle, but to the downside. Be very cautious. If they break down under this range, under the lows of that last Friday's candle, well, most likely Qs are going to visit that 582 zones to the downside. Might happen today. Who knows, right? So we'll wait and see. Be very cautious as long as we're staying within this range, and don't get sucked into this, corny codes like when they're afraid you're going to buy and all this other stuff. Let the markets tell you that. We don't know who's afraid. We don't know, when the markets are not afraid, you're going to know it. We're going to see the drop in the wicks. As long as there's uncertainty with all these trade wars exist, we are going to see these massive volatility back and forth when it comes to the markets. So we'll wait and see what we got in tape for us today. Keeping an eye out for GLD. We got 4 more minutes to go. And if you are trading SPY in particular, enable the pre-market. So if you notice the pre-market lows on SPY, if you're trading this, keep an eye out for this first level, 659.50. If they break down under, most likely outcome 653s. If they come back down towards the 653s, 44s in particular, or even better, 652s to the downside. This level, the lows of last Friday's candle, 652.84 is what I'm looking for, right? A first level, either we can see the stab at 654.40s or I need the 652s if I want to buy SPY for a reversal to the upside, by the way. I'm going to be very, very cautious, very, very picky when it comes to trading. Today in particular, if we can get that low stack at around 653s, we can take it. Or if we get a rally first towards the 663s to test that 5-day moving average, we might get an opportunity to buy puts on SPY again from that level, right? So we'll wait and see what we have on tape today. We are keeping an eye out for the ticker symbol GLD. And apart from that, we're just going to be patient and wait for the things to work out in our favor. For longer term positioning, I really like the way NVIDIA is looking to the downside, by the way. Right here, this is what we call as a false breakout, by the way, right? So there's this saying which goes, every time there is a failed move, it oftentimes followed by a fast move to the downside, by the way, right? There is a whole psychology behind it. Let me just type it out. Failed moves. Followed fast moves, right? What I mean by that is pretty simple, right? If you go to the daily chart of NVIDIA, from 31st of July of 2025 all the way towards September 30 of 2025. Price has been constantly rejecting this 183 to 184 levels. You can go to the daily chart, and if you just draw a box right here, you can see exactly where I'm getting at with this, right? Every time the price tested this level, sellers jumped in and pushed the price down. And then they finally pushed it higher. So what's going to happen to all these sellers? All these sellers just got trapped right here at this breakout and got converted into buyers, by the way. Now, this move didn't last long, as now we are back under this range. So everyone who got turned into buyers got squeezed out right now. And now they are going to convert back into the shorts again. So that is going to lead for the price to keep pushing down even further. So this is not a good looking chart by any way, by the way, right now, as of how it's looking, especially if they break down and lose this 179 and cannot close today's candle above 184. Today marks the weekly candle close, by the way. The weekly candle today need to close above 184.50 for NVIDIA to start looking bullish, by the way, right? If you're bullish, we need to see a pullback today towards that 179.60 and a bounce up and close today's daily candles about 184.50 on NVIDIA. If not, we're most likely going to see NVIDIA have further drawdown to that downside with the broader markets, by the way. So we'll wait and see how it goes. Watch out for this 183 to 184.40 zones to the upside. We'll see how it plays out. Then we will deal with it accordingly, right? So switching back to the GLD position, we'll wait and see how it goes, and we'll position ourselves accordingly. I'm going to turn on the extended hours, and I'm going to turn on the GC right next to it as well. Ticker symbol GC is the gold's futures, by the way. If you trade futures through gold, that's the ticker symbol to look out for. Let's anchor the VWAP to the 6 o'clock candle today. Maybe a little bit of a push higher towards this 43, 47s before us getting involved. Markets are pulling back further. Let's take a look. Let's be patient a little bit. All right, BE alert just went off, by the way, so something to keep in mind. Gap is filled on gold from yesterday in particular. Let's wait for the first 5-minute candle close and then we will deal with it. Ooh, we're pulling down aggressively. So we're waiting for the positioning on the GLD to the downside. I'll let you guys know when I enter the initial positions. We need a bounce up to the upside and then we can go for the initial entry.
So, Mary, so when you say to the downside, are you talking about put?
Yes, for the gold. If you can short shares, that's better as well. You
Okay,
can short using just by using shares alone by setting the stop losses towards that 402 areas. But if you're going for puts, I'm looking for a tiny bounce up to the upside and then towards the VWAP at least. And then we can looking for 3 months out in the money expiration or at least a 395 strike price for a swing trade, that is.
okay,
All right, so that should be January 16th expiration for 395 puts with stop losses if they close above 402s. This is a swing
okay,
trade, by the way, might take some time to play out. So
okay.
we'll see. I'll let you guys know when I enter. On QQQ, I'm looking for this 592. I'm just going to set some price alerts on QQQ at 592.30s and change. If they come back down towards that area, we can take it. Or if they can't recover the VWAP here, or let's say they just push higher to close this gap, maybe towards the 600 zones, we can just go with S triple Q positions. Aggressive traders who doesn't mind entering a small positions can open gold shortly, but I'm gonna wait for a while. Is there a gold stop? I'm looking at it, man. Like there is GLD, right? GLD is the one which is gold. So I want to see if there is a GLD short. So if anyone knows a gold short, let me know. GLD short. Yeah, it is expensive. That's what I'm looking for. Gold ultra shorts. They should be there. Pro shares, ultra gold. Oh, GLL. You got it. There is a ticker symbol with shorts it. GLL is the ticker symbol, by the way. What is the volume on this? Volume looks pretty decent. Check out the ticker symbol GLL, by the way. If you have a smaller sized accounts, just look at the ticker symbol GLL. That is way better. I'm just going to type in the ticker symbol right here for reference, GLL. All right, if you look at the pre-markets on GLL, it is leveraged. Anything with pro shares is leveraged, by the way. You can set your stop losses at $12.80 if you're going to take it. So ticker symbol GLL, by the way. Oh, how did I not notice this? I like this one better. All right, so I am.
So,
Go ahead.
so I just need to open up a position or buy a few shares in GLL, right?
Yes, better, especially if you're dealing with an account size less than 25,000 or 30,000. So just go with GLL. It's going to save you a lot of stress. A lot of stress, because the price of the puts, which I mentioned, is somewhere around like 1600 or 1700, as AJ just mentioned. If it's too much risk, just go with GLL instead. Wait for the VWAP. Let them come back towards the VWAP, and once they come back towards the VWAP and then find sellers right there, we can go and establish our initial positions. If you're going to right now, you can set up a small position. Hopefully, if you guys are returning people to Zoom, you can just use the chat GPT to get the template. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me just show you guys how to deal with it. Open up a small 0.2% risk position right now on GLL, by the way. Cost basis can be between, they pull back maybe towards this 1340 to 1355 seems like a good entry point.
Is that for like a call?
No, for shares, just go with shares. I'll show you exactly the template which you need to be working with. Hold on a minute. Hopefully you guys can see my screen on ChatGPT, right? So pretty simple, just open up ChatGPT, right? And put in your account size right here on Ask Anything, account size. Your account size goes right here, by the way, all right? Let's say $5,000, all right? And entry price, let's say 1350, stop price 1280, and total risk 0.5% of the account. All right, just type this in. I'm just gonna put in the template right here. You can just copy paste it and get your amount of shares. You can just add in this template, calculate the number of shares. So you can typically buy 35 shares with this one, especially if you're dealing with a $5,000 account, by the way. So if you're dealing with a $2,000 account, just do the same with a smaller, just change the account size to 2,000 is what I'm trying to say. Just use the chat GPT and use the template, copy paste the template right there and change the account size to your account size. That's going to give you exactly the total amount of shares to buy. So this is a swing trade, by the way, and the stop losses at 2080 will be daily close under, by the way. All right, so something to keep in mind. So I'm just gonna post it in the chat right now for reference. Let me switch my screen. Hopefully you guys got the templates, right? We good? I'm gonna flip my screen back to trading bit. Specific to. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Initial positions for GLL. GLL? Yep, GLL made. Stops 1280. Total risk so far is 0.3%. All right, so you guys can go ahead and establish the first initial position, 0.3% risk, and we can enter again. We'll average up again shortly once we get some confirmation, especially if we get a bounce up initially, and then we can add more to it. A pullback, maybe a pullback towards that VWAP will give us an opportunity. I am not expecting this to make money today. If it makes money today, great, good for us. But if it might take might take a while, I'm looking for it to fill this gap to the downside on GLD, right? Towards that, what do you call it? 387s is what I'm going for. So let's wait and see how it plays out, and then we can deal with it accordingly. So initially, right now, they're testing the VWAP. I'll let you guys know when I add more towards this name. Let's see if they can hold the VWAP. If they do, it's going to be great for us. The first target will be around this 1450 levels to the upside on this ticker symbol, which we call GLL. So which will be first this gap, 1396. The next gap is at 1450. And then the next gap right here is 1540s. Hopefully we'll get all those filled eventually down the line, just going off of data alone. If you haven't got the data yet, I'm going to post it in the Zoom chat for the reference. Take a look. Let me save this image right here. Then just drag and drop it into the Zoom chat. This is purely based off of quantitative analysis, by the way. Nothing more, nothing less. Purely a data-dependent swing trade. Yes, just for a 0.3% risk. Initial positions, go ahead, 0.3% risk. Currently, my average cost is 13.52. will average up, depends on how they react around the VWAP here to complete the positions. They are testing the VWAP here, so let's wait and see. So make sure to use the template though. So even if we are wrong on this, we shouldn't be losing more than 0.3% of our account on the initial position. So we can re-enter again down the line. For people with decent sized accounts, put sounds better. So you'd buy call since it's in reverse. Yes, if you're trading this with GLL, you can go ahead and buy call options as well if it fits your risk appetite. But this is a $13 stock with a $5,000 account. You can easily buy around like what, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 300, around like 300 shares. You can go ahead and buy with this with your following risk appetite, right? So I don't see why you want to buy call options with this one, especially the $5,000 account or any sized accounts with 2,000, you can still buy around 100 shares. It's still the same as you buying call options anyway. So I might add another. If you're going with GLL, buy call options. If you're going with GLD, we are short on GLD based off of data alone. So we'll wait and see how it plays out.
How long out for the
Hey,
call options on G?
go ahead, Janice.
How long out? How far out? A week, 2 weeks?
Always 3 months, Jonas. 3 months out.
3 months.
Yep, always 3 months out, and go for a $13 strike price if possible. And we are like, have an open mind with it. So make sure even if you're wrong, you won't be losing more than 0.5% of your entire account if you're going with call option, right? So if you're having a decent sized account, you can buy a larger amount of shares with GLL. And if you're having a smaller sized accounts, don't go more than 2 contracts, and make sure even if you're wrong, you wouldn't be losing more than 0.5% of your entire portfolio. So $13 strike price or $14 strike price, 3 months out, or 13.50 if GLL offers a 13.50 strike price, 3 months out expiration. Let it play out, give it some time, and make sure that even if that expires worthless, your account won't lose a maximum of more than 1%. That is what we are looking for. So alerts are set on QQQ as well for a potential SQQQ trade or TQQQ trade down the line too. So they are holding on towards the VWAP for now. So if they continue to bounce through, I am looking for this gap to be filled at $14 and change. Not expecting it to work today, but by next week is what we are aiming for. By next week, we're expecting this to hit that $14. Hopefully, looks like Trump has a major announcement or something today, right? So is it today or at 3 p.m. EST, if I'm not wrong? So hopefully, it is yesterday. Oh, all right. If it's over, we should be on the clear. There was an Oval Office live yesterday. It must have been over yesterday then. It should be good to go then. All right. So for now, one position which we have opened, which is GLL for smaller sized accounts. For larger sized accounts, you can still look into. Josh, are you aware of credit spreads? Yes, if you're aware of credit spreads, you can open that 400 to 405 strike price, by the way. 400, 405 sounds good for a credit. We're talking about call credit spreads, by the way, not put credit spreads. Call credit spreads for 400 to 405, 3 months out. If you don't understand what I'm talking about for others, don't worry about it. So 400, 405, call credit spreads, maybe 3 months out. Check and tell me how much credits they're offering for this $5 wide spreads. Let me know. It might, give us an opportunity. This will be cheaper than you buying put options right here, by the way, based off of how much expensive they are at this moment. This you can do this with the smaller sized accounts as well if you want to trade options. Oh, if you're not in margins accounts, I don't think you can open it. If you're not in margins accounts, and if the puts on the IV is pretty high, just go with GLL shares. It's gonna make you a decent amount of money if it plays out in our favor. And even if you're wrong, we wouldn't be losing much. It's about 150 to 200 credit. Pretty decent, like what you're risking $300 to make 200s. Not bad. If you're not in margin account, you can't open it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We'll just stick with GLL. So when it comes to QQQ, we got some price alerts set right here at this 592 zone. So if it gets there, good for us. We can take it. If not, we're going to be patient with the other trades which we opened today. You can switch accounts, you can cash account for it. Makes sense. If you're already positioned in GLL, I don't see why we need another, exposure to short an uptrend as of now. So where's the 5-day moving average on gold, by the way? Let's take a look. GLD. Holy shit, it's nowhere to be found. 5-day moving average is at around 581s. Holy moly. Now let's switch back to GC here. As long as GC holds under the overnight VWAP, we should be good to go. I mean, they don't take out. They've been struggling to take out this highs at 43.88s anyway. So we'll wait and see how it goes. Be bouncing off of the 5-day moving average. Let's take a look. Still under that anchor VWAP. So before we move into other stocks, any questions about GLL so far? We good? We good with the positioning? If you have any questions, let me know. So we already positioned this, and I'm not going to come back to this until either it hits our profit-taking targets or it hits our stop losses, by the way. So there's no point in keep staring at it. We're already positioned on this one. We have a risk set. Everything is set. So we should be good to go. If they break under the VWAP again, we can add more to it. So for now, in a smaller sized accounts, I got 125 shares on GLL, by the way, with stop losses at 1280. So that is the initial risk which I got going at this moment. So you don't have to follow along with the stick to the risk parameters. I'm being a bit aggressive here. You don't have to be either. So we'll wait and see how this plays out, and I'll add more down the line shortly. So this is for GLL. And the next one, which we have, we can go back to the individual stocks. Let's talk about the crowd favorite. Tesla, what the hell are you doing? Let's take a look. TSLA. 5-day moving average testing. Interesting. Watch the VWAP on Tesla here. If they break down into the VWAP, might offer a beautiful shot to the downside, maybe towards the pre-market lows. What's the pre-market lows on Tesla? Maybe around that 414s if they reject here. Interesting area though. Let's keep it on the watch list on Tesla. Let's see what it does, and we can deal with it shortly. All right, so if you guys have any other stock you want me to go over, let me know. We can talk about it. We can look into it. On BE, looks like the 5-day moving average. Why is it not available? Let's see. I need BE to clear this area. By the way, clear that AV wrap coming from the gap of candle. We'll be having more than enough time to establish our positions. Tesla pushing through. Looks like Qs should be bouncing as well. Ooh, beautiful recovery from the markets here. Interesting. Not in any individual positions yet, by the way. Still waiting for either the 5-day moving average tag on the QQQ or need this 592s to the downside. BE bouncing, keep an eye out for, if you want to test the waters on BE, it's already a long gone position at this moment. I don't want to test my luck. Maybe if they come back down towards the VWAP, we can give it a go on BE here. I was looking at DPZ Dominoes, if they can clear that AVWAP, bouncing from the 5-day moving average on Dominoes as well. Let's see what else we got going.
Can we take a look at open?
Open? Sure. Let's see, open technology, declining 5-day moving average, not looking great. There's a simple way to trade this, by the way. The only concern here should be the inability for this to get back over the 773s to 790 zones. You see on the daily, they consolidated from September 30 for quite some time around this area, right? Around the 793 to 777 demand zone. They tried to rally above it, failed. And now the only point of interest open got going for it is this area right here, around this 690s to the 705s. Watch for today's close. And that should be the, yeah, if they pull back maybe around 653 or even further to fill this gap at 585s, if you're looking for a call option trade or a reversal trade on open, we need to see a massive pullback, maybe to fill this gap right here aggressively towards this 586 level. Maybe Monday, maybe today. Right now, today, it doesn't interest me much. On Monday, let's say they open. And as soon as they open, we need to open two conditions. We need to open about this area of 691s. And then as soon as the market opens, we need to see a massive pullback towards this 585. And then we can take that reversal trade from here, maybe towards the 659s. If you're going to trade the reversal on open, that is the trade which I want. So we need that liquidity to be grabbed from here, and then a push up, a wick through, a push up to try to close today about the 653 or maybe towards the 690s. Right now, as of now, this is still a downtrend. So on a shorter time frame status, so looking a little bit weaker, still under the, if you notice the 15-minute time frame, declining 5-day moving average, not looking pretty as of now, right? On the shorter time frames, it's under the 20-day moving average as well. So for now, the only thing going for bulls is this holding about the $6.90 zone. As long as they're above it, good. But if they break down under, the 50-day moving average is currently at 653, might come there. If they come there, maybe a reversal trades in card. But my type of trade is, if you go to the 15 minutes, you can see this huge gap right here, which is towards this 580 zones. Maybe they come back down here, fill that gap, and take it all the way back up again. That is something which interests me. Not right now. Not really interested in messing around with this at this moment. Looks like Qs are going to push towards that 5-day moving average. Let's wait and see what they do. switch back to NQ to see if there is anything for the funded accounts. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it alone for now. NQs, if they can push down another towards the opening range ORB, we can take the risk, which will be, I need it under this
You check SPY
792. Yeah, SPY is rallying, right? So from the looks of it, SPY is looking good. Like maybe a rally towards 663 is the 5-day moving average. They are testing the AVWAP from the tariffs. At an area of interest is 662.30s to 663s will be the area of interest for SPY, by the way. Our resistance zones, 662 to 663s. Don't blindly short it. Just be patient. Let them lose the VWAP. We'll be having more than enough opportunities. If you want to short it right here, let them show some sort of weakness right here, and then it'll give you more opportunity to do so. The tariff anchored VWAP is currently right here at 662.83s, by the way. So watch it. If they break down under the ORB highs, might give you an opportunity to short it right there. If you want to trade it with shares, check out the ticker symbol SDS for SPY. If you want to make money to the downside using shares, that is. GLD is slowly coming back and SPY pulling down. For people, or QQQ pulling down in particular. Expensive puts, by the way, be careful. What's the 5-day moving average on the QQQ? Might be of a point of interest here. Get ready for a potential average up on GLL2. The first targets on GLL for me will be this 1395s, perhaps, this gap. If they push towards this 1374s, especially if you, okay, there are two types of traders, right? I am predominantly a swing trader, but there will be some traders who don't like to hold things overnight or who don't like to hold things throughout the weekend. They like to have a peaceful weekend without knowing what might happen to the markets. We don't have to worry about it because the worst case scenario is us losing 0.5%, but different psychology, different traders. So if you're just going to day trade this GLL, just watch out for this 1374s to the upside. You can take some profits off the table, and if they continue to push through, watch out for this 1394s. You can just close the entire position right over there, sort of thing. And you can re-enter again upcoming Monday or upcoming Tuesday. Totally up to you. So it depends on what type of trader you are. Should I post the trade which you took on the chat? So I'm not quite sure. Let's just post it. I don't care. I just posted it in the chat as well for people to keep an eye out. Average cost 1353. Seems like it's starting to work in our favor. Too early to call it, but let's wait and see. Looks like SPY is rejecting that AVWAP from the tariff as well. We need SPY at 653s is what we got. Yep, 653.60s to 653.20s. I'm not talking much about SPY or QQQ today in particular because I know most of you in here are absolutely new to the markets. I don't want you guys to trade options at all with this volatility, especially if you're dealing with the smaller sized accounts. That's the main reasons why I was looking for this short position trade with shares on GLL instead of trading it with options. By the way, it's way easy to just, panic sell when things are actually working in your favor. So be patient. The money which you'll be making will be decent. I got a no trade today. I'm tired anyway. If you're tired, just go and get some rest, man. Don't stress yourself out. The markets are whipsawing back and forth. If you have never traded VIX about 20s, not the best time to experiment with it. Don't start now. Yep. Volatility with no direction. Exactly. It's good for day trading though, but it can be really, really annoying. At least from this direction, you can just YOLO it. You ain't gonna do that anyway, so shut up. So maybe like almost getting near to the target of 1373. So let's take a look on how it does and deal with it accordingly. Come on, gold. Give me that push through so we can just be one and done with it. Q's pushing, testing the 5-day again. Once we close this trade, then we can look into the different positioning. Josh and GME, that's the news. What's going on with GME here? Ooh. GLL ripping to the upside here. Watch out.
Oh,
Beautiful
sorry.
candle.
So for the GLD,
Uh,
the expiration date is supposed to be for January, right?
yes, correct. So hopefully you're already in it though.
I'm not in.
You're not in
I'm
it?
trying to get it. No, yeah, I'm trying to get it now. So
Oh, you are a bit. I mean, you can, but it might take a while for you to start making money on those if you're not getting involved right now.
that's fine.
You
I
can
can
just, yeah,
wait.
yeah, you can just go with GLL shares though, like we did just now. It's gonna
Uh,
be better. Like
hmm.
it'll offer much upside potential. The GLL shares, we're looking for this 1396 to the upside anyway. So especially look out for GLD right here, especially if this candle closes under the zone of 390.50. Most likely outcome is it's going to come back down to fill this gap at 388 and change, and which will push this GLL shares towards this 1395s. So if you can afford to buy GLL puts, you can just buy like right now. I am in 200 shares on GLL, by the way, current positions. So if they from 1353 to like, let's say they go all the way to $14, that's still around like 200 shares. Like 200 shares, we're talking somewhere around like $150, $160 in profit. That is without worrying about all these data DK and all those other Greeks nonsense when it comes to options.
I think my GLF
GLL is the ticker symbol which we are in at the moment, by the way.
yeah, but then it's so
Yeah. Watch out here on GLL, pushing through. And time to start taking the first set off the table soon.
oh. When did you sell it though? Sold mine.
Oh, looks like some made money. Great. Good job. Nice $300. I sold some right here at that highest peak at around 1380s. I'm just gonna leave the runners here. This for a day trading positions, by the way. Swing trade still on the table. Profit target still at 1395s. On GLD, that will be around 387.50s and change. To get there, good for us. Are we trimming at 14? If you averaged up, AJ, let it push towards that. Let it push towards the 1394s. Let's be greedy today. Let's be greedy. Let them fill this gap. This is a swing position anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, Mario, I got in GLL. I'm gonna have to hold the hopefully it'll be okay. That's all right, man. This is still looking great, by the way. When gold filled this gap right here at 387s, 387.60, when they're near that 388 zones, right? Start taking profits off the table is what I'm trying to say. Have two charts side by side, right? When gold goes lower, when GLD goes lower, we are going to push higher on GLL. So if you have a decent positioning on GLL already, watch out for GLD to push towards that 388s to fill that gap. Then you can just 387.63s exactly. Under the VWAP, looking not so good. They continue to push lower. The first target will be 1394s. The second target will be around this 1440s or even further. Leave the runners on the table and let the runners do the work, sort of thing. So this 15-minute candle, let's wait and see if they can close under. If they can, well, the next move is going to be quick towards that 387s. So just to be clear, if this gets towards 387.50s, by the way, we are done for the day. We are done for the day. You made your money, especially if you're day trading. Don't try to look into other setups. Try to make a few cents here and there. We already made our money. Call it off and enjoy the weekend, sort of thing, right? So still a great trade to the downside for swing traders. We are looking for the gap to the downside. We're looking for that 5-day moving average tag. We're looking at 382s to close the position. For day traders, the target is pretty simple, 387.55. Going to next week, AJ, yes, very well so. I highly doubt it that the gold is going to pull all the way back towards this 5-day moving average today, but very likely, if it happened by today, good for us, right? Like I'm not going to complain. Like that target will be this 14, at least this 1420s to the upside. That's going to be great. From 1350s to 1420s, still a good trade. And if you got in with put options on GLD, let's say around 392s, that'd be around 392s to 384s. That's almost like a $10 move to the downside on a 3 months expiration puts. Gonna still make you a decent amount of money, but this level right here
This
on the 15 minutes.
like the trading. Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Kizzy. We're saying something?
Oh shoot. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. All right, watch out here for this 5-minute candle, testing that previous highs around that 390.60s. Let's see if this pushes down on gold or if they're going to push up again towards the VWAP before bouncing down. And previously, I was talking to a person who are looking for an entry. If you're looking for an entry for puts, which you haven't entered before, wait for that VWAP tag. Once they tag the VWAP, that's going to give you an entry again for GLD puts in particular, which is around 392.60. Thanks for refresh session. GLL shares. Yes, it is. That's the entire point. Like, less stressful you are, the more higher the chances that you're going to stick to your plan, is what I'm trying to say. GLD puts can be a pain in the ass to deal with, especially if you're trading with the smaller sized accounts, by the way. This is moving like $1 every candle. So it can be a real pain in the ass to deal with, especially looking at it. You're going to panic sell most of the time if you're over leveraged, only to see it work out in your favor by market close. Better to just stick with what your risk is going to be all right with, so that like we can stick to the plan and deal with the short. Right now they're pushing higher. We got 3 more minutes for this 15-minute candle close. Let's wait and see.
Up.
Yep, SPY is pushing up as well. Qs are pushing up as well. So we'll wait and see what they do. Let's give it a few more minutes. Apologies.
The high for the day on the SPY all the way up at 662.48, but it didn't break above that. So like I'm kind of feeling like it's gonna maybe tap that, and then I don't really see it. Maybe it might rally to 663, but if it can't push over, I don't know.
On Detroit, the thing is, the wallet VIX is still about 20, by the way. So from 662 to 663, what I'm trying to say is, let's say the next 1 minute candle, there is a very high probability that you're going to see that next candle push through that 664, only to push back again to make a new low as well towards 660. You can see this 2-minute candle right here is what I'm having on my charts. The 2-minute candle, last 2-minute candle, have a $2 move to the upside, by the way. So with this volatility, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a push up all the way towards even, let's see, towards the 663 or even towards the 664 before pushing all the way back down as well. So be very, very cautious.
Nah, see, now that's the type of analysis I'm talking, because I'm definitely seeing the downtrend. I'm just waiting for the fall. Because the same thing happened yesterday. We got all the way up to like 670, and then it just fell. It just fell. So I'm like, that's what I'm looking at. Like, we definitely not up to yesterday's high, and I forgot what yesterday's low is, but no, like the way you break that down, that's why I need to be here.
Yeah. So think about it this way, right? Just keep a ticker symbol VIX on the side, right? That's not going to tell you much, but all it's going to tell you is what to expect from the intraday movement on SPY. The higher the VIX is, the most likely that we're going to see this massive swings. Right here, as you see, 663 is pushing through, right? So now all we care about is the daily close, where they are going to close the daily candle. Daily candle is all that matters. If SPY is going to push through, 664, 65 is what I'm looking for. And intraday, I want to give it until 11 o'clock, right? So if you're going to trade SPY, wait for the VWAP. Simple. I don't know if you use the VWAP indicator. If your SPY gets down under 660s, you're going to have more than enough time to just buy put options and take it all the way towards 653s, by the way. The goal is not to buy the low at the end of the day. The goal is to make money, right? Might as well wait for better confirmation and then enter, rather than trying to call the top and bottom and then getting unnecessarily stopped out. That being said, GLL 1390, take some profits off the table, right? Simple. We are nearing that area of interest. GLD looks like it filled the gap as well. Yep, GLD near that area of interest, which we mentioned. On the swing trading positions, you can take some off the table. Let me just type it in so people who are not in the chat can take advantage of it as well.
I just wanted to say something one more time. What you said about the VWAP?
Yeah. So yeah, the indicator, the VWAP, is going to tell you who's in control for the intraday trend, right? So let me clear up the chart really quick so that it's easy to see only the VWAP. Let me open up another layout for you. Hold on.
before you go straight into this though, I just want to ask, like, because I am fairly new. I definitely consider myself new, and when it comes to like getting into the different indicators, like right now, I've just kind of been using the EMA, and I just figuring out the 5-day and the 20-day, and just kind of, so by adding the VWAP into the arsenal, is this, I don't want to over consume myself. I am looking to just solely day trade the spot though.
Yeah, this is only for day trading. On VWAP is a day trading indicator, by the way. That is only used for day trading. So if you're already using EMAs, my question will be, on what time frames are you using these EMAs on? So
I haven't gotten the science down to that yet, honestly.
All right. So think of it this way, right? So I want you to observe something. Do you have your charts opened up?
Unfortunately, I don't. I'm looking at it on my phone, but I'm at work, so I'm not even at my computer.
All right, no, it doesn't matter. Like if you're looking at it through your phones and if you're using EMAs, I mean, if you, how long have you been using these EMAs for? I mean, if you're using it for at least a week or so, you must have noticed what I'm about to say right now. If you look at the 1 minute time frame, EMAs will be at one position. If you look at the 15-minute time frame, it will be at a different spot. If you look at the 30-minute time frame, it will be at a different spot. So now things will get a little bit confusing here to what time frames you need to use these EMAs as support or resistance levels, right?
So okay, well, you're right. So in the last 7 days, I've basically been entering my trades from a 1 minute or a 5 minute chart. So I guess that's the answer. Like a 1 minute or a 5 minute EMA is where I've been entering from.
So now the next question to you will be, what EMAs are you using? Is it 13 EMA, 45 EMA, 20 EMA? What will that be?
I scaled down, but like last week I was using 5 EMAs. It was the 5, the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200.
All right.
And I started to realize that was too much to day trade, so I figured like the 5 and the 20 would be enough. So I've been using that like this week.
All right. So if you're using EMAs alone, so for instance, right now, so notice what SPY is doing. So if you look at the 1 minute time frame on SPY, you can see the SPY rallied all the way towards the 663.60. Now they're pulling back right down under. So what I'm trying to say is this orange line, which you see on my screen right now, that's what we call as VWAP, by the way. So this VWAP is telling you who's in control for today's trend, whether the average buyers are making money or whether the average sellers are making money. To put it simple, if the candles are trading above the VWAP, the buyers are in control. If the candles are trading below the VWAP, the sellers are in control. So the entries will be made pretty simple. Let's say if the price on SPY gets down under 600 and then pushes up towards this orange line and find sellers and continue to sell off, you can enter somewhere around this 599.80s and set your stop losses up towards 663s for a trade all the way towards this 653s to the downside, by the way. The advantage here is, unlike last week, this week, SPY is going to move way higher, way wilder than what it did last week, by the way. Until Friday of last week, SPY was just doing absolutely nothing. We had like what, a $5, $6 move maximum per day, that is. But right now, we're getting that $5, $6 move in literally like 5-10 minutes of every single 5-10 minutes, we're getting that move on SPY. So the volatility is higher. And if you're trading it with options, just keep in mind that the option premiums are going to be way too expensive compared to what it was last week, by the way. All right, be a bit cautious. And I will let you know when it's a better time for the put options. If you're using EMAs, let me just add those in my chart. So you will notice how it doesn't matter what indicators we use. The price action, the levels which you're watching, it's going to be more or less around the same areas of interest. So you said use 5 EMA. Let me add that 5 EMA right here.
Why are you doing it? I wanted to ask, would it make sense to use one or the other, or do the two confirm anything? Like if I'm using VWAP, should I just kind of, focus on that and just kind of not really pay attention to the EMAs? Are they conflicting or not?
No, there are multiple conflicting indicators, by the way. We call it redundant, right? Both indicators are going to tell you the exact same thing, sort of thing. For example, using 13 SMA and 26 SMA, a simple moving average, not exponential, not EMAs. We're talking about SMAs, and also using MACD. Both are going to tell you the exact same thing. That makes it redundant. But right here, you can use EMAs to gauge the momentum. If you're using 5 EMA, all it's going to tell you is the momentum for the last 5 candles. That's all the 5 EMA is going to tell you. EMAs doesn't take volume into consideration, by the way, but VWAP takes the volume into consideration as well. So you can take both, by the way. So let's say if they break under the VWAP and they're also under the 5 EMA on the 2-minute time frame, you can just go ahead and use this as a multiple confirmation to take the trades based off of the same as well. And you got to notice one thing. The EMAs only work when the markets are trending. When the markets are trending in either directions, EMAs are going to work, by the way. But when the markets are chopping around, these EMAs or VWAP are not going to work. You're going to be losing money trading when the markets are chopping around. That goes for both the indicators, because both EMAs and VWAP works the best when the markets are trending, not the other way around, is what I'm trying to say.
But isn't it right now, wouldn't this be considered volatile? Like
It
the
is.
market we in?
It is volatile, but it is also choppy.
So is it a good time? So would it be a good time to use these indicators during this week? Or okay,
you can use these indicators during these week. This is what I'm going to do right now, right? So since you are very new, I would highly recommend you to understand how these indicators work, the back end of it. You see this line on my screen, right? I added this green line for you. That's the 5 EMA on the 1-minute time frame. So I want you to understand how this line works. Why do you see this line? How this line is calculated, right? So what's the point of this line? Why do we buy and sell when the stock hits that line at the end of the day? At the end of the day, it's just a green line on my screen. It doesn't have any significance to the broader market, right? So for now, I'm going to share one video with you on the Zoom chat. Just let me see. EMA Michael Moss. There should be a video right here. How to trade with exponential moving average. There it is. Right. So once your work is over for this weekend, go ahead and check this video out. Copy paste it in your notes tab. You can just go back to it and check it out. I just shared it in the Zoom chat. You can just copy paste it. Look into it in your own time. Might offer you more indication on how to use these 5 EMA more efficiently, or how to use any EMAs more efficiently down the line for day trading or swing trading. Doesn't really matter.
GLL just
thank you.
1390 that you said.
Go ahead. Benjamin.
I'm saying GLL hit your 1390 mark.
Oh yeah, you can start taking profits, by the way. Like as I said before, 1390s or around this 1395s, start taking profits off the table. You can keep an eye out for GLD here, by the way. GLD is, once they fill this gap, we're talking, they are already at that zone, 387.54s. When they near that mark, start taking profits off the table, especially if you're just going to day trade those and not swing trade it. Even if you're swing trading, you can take some off the table and leave the initials on, but I don't see why you would be doing that anyway. But if you're day trading, if you don't want to hold something into the weekend, especially into the uncertainty, 1395s, take some off the table. So leave the swing trades completely. Yeah, what's the risk you're currently exposed to, Josh? Is it 0.3 or 0.5? Did you average up once they broke above the VWAP again? 0.3? All right, so if it's a 0.3% risk, you can take 0.1% off the table. If you didn't average up, just leave the 0.2% positions on. And let's say by Monday, if they pull back again, or if they rally into the AVWAP coming from the all-time highs and reject it and pull back again, there we go, 0.5% position, and we're going for that next gap towards that 380s to the downside, by the way, the 5-day moving average stack. Now, then the target will be around 1441s at that time. For swing trades, I don't see why you need to be managing anything at this moment, but if you want to take some profits off the table, there's nothing wrong with it either. We should, even if you're late on this position on GLD, you should still be making money. Got to pay for a vacation. Yep, take some off. Yeah, with yours, I would be a little bit aggressive with my positioning as of now, Josh, based off of what we discussed in our previous meetings. So be a little bit aggressive with the profit taking and leave the runners on the table. This is still a leveraged product, which we are in, by the way, so we need to be aggressive. Gold is still under the VWAP. We're already down like 2% on gold today, which is pretty interesting. So let's wait, hold on. I want to talk more about EMAs and VWAP, so we will discuss more shortly, but let's just close off all the positions first, and then we can have more time into discussing about these, indicators and how it works and any other questions that you guys have. And if for traders who took the GLD puts directly, right? Like if you entered somewhere around right here at 392s or the break above the VWAP when we entered, you can take some profits off the table as we do. So we already exited some. My positions should have, for day trading positions, should have kicked me out by half when they hit that 30-90 zones. Doesn't really matter if they pull back to, as long as they hold the VWAP. Another opportunity will be let them bounce towards that 391s. And if they reject that 391s, we can go again to the downside for a potential new lows, but we'll wait and see.
Mario, so if we
Go ahead.
go back up to 391, can I say enter because I didn't get to take the GLL?
Oh, yeah. Good thing you didn't chase it, by the way. Really good
Yeah.
thing. You can give yourself a pat in the back for that. Like, let's say they go towards that 392s today, right? 392s today, that's the VWAP for the day. And if they found sellers again at that point, you can establish your initial positions. Again, whatever I said before holds true even now, by the way. Do not expect it to make money immediately. This is a swing trading position, right? So it might take a week to play out because we're going off purely based off of the data, by the way. And I shared the data before, like 1 week, we're going to leave it be. If the gold pulls back towards, let's say 380s and change or 382s and change, that's when we will be looking to make some changes and take some profits off the table on that position, by the way. All right, so let them push back. Let them continue towards that 391 to 391.70 zones, and we can deal with it accordingly.
When we buying GLL, are we trading options on GLL or are you just buying GLL?
Oh, when I got in at around $13.54, I just bought shares, by the way, because right here there are I gave you guys two different options, right? You can either do it with GLD puts directly, but if you're dealing with an account size $5,000 and less, GLD puts are off the table, by the way, because those puts are going for like 1,700 and 1,800 per contract. If you can only buy one contract, that trade is off the table, because if you're wrong, the amount of money which you'll be losing is around 50% of your portfolio. So if you're having a $5,000 account or less, GLL shares is a much better option. So right here, for instance, you can buy, if you're trading with a $5,000 account, you can buy a maximum of 350 shares, by the way, on GLL. And if you bought it from 353 all the way to like 390, that's around like $130 to $140 in profit. Still a decent trade at the end of the day for the risk which we are taking, right? So it's better, easier to manage the positions that way. So if you haven't gotten involved with GLL shares either, so wait for the VWAP tag. Let them come back towards this 1366, which will be gold's equivalent of 391.60. And if they reject that area, we will get our opportunity to enter right there for round 2. Or for some people, that'll be round 1. For smaller positions, for smaller portfolios, GLL shares is a much better option. And for a larger size portfolio, anything about 25,000 and beyond, GLD puts is a much better option. Based off of your account size is what I'm trying to say.
I got one more question because I see you winning. I see all y'all. I see y'all winning with this gold play. I didn't hop in it, and this is pure. I'm just being honest. I didn't hop in it because I was speculative on. I seen it push up last night after hours. It normally moves after hours. I seen it push up to like 403 or 4,600 or something like that. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, with everything I'm hearing, with the tensions, with the everything we already know, how do you have this confidence? I mean, even right now, the government shut down, and I'm hearing like gold gonna continue to go. So what's giving you this confidence to say like gold about to dip? You know, when like everything in the news saying gold gonna continue to push further. Like that's why I sat on the sideline.
Because that's one of the main reasons why I don't pay attention to all these news. because there is this guy called Walter Damon, right? In his book, he said something similar to the price determines the headlines, the trend determines the headlines, right? Gold has been rallying for 9 weeks straight, by the way. 9 weeks back to back. If you look at the weekly candle for GLD right here, so let me pull it up on my screen. Right here, if you look at it from the week of August 18th of 2025 to right now, nonstop. According to data, according to statistics, gold never had 10 weeks back to back positive gains, right? Based off of just pure data, by the way. So news might come out and say like, oh, gold is the next investment. After rallying like 40% back to back, the headlines are going to come out and tell me like, oh, this is the next big investment. It's already been a big investment. The trade has already been over. So now what we're expecting for gold to do is have a little bit of a pullback. Once that pullback is done, well, we can continue to push higher. So we're not expecting gold to crash here. We're expecting gold to log something called as a higher low. Once we see that higher low, maybe towards that 373 or 360, perhaps to the downside, we can buy it again for a move to the upside again, but not right here. I'm really not interested in buying new positions on gold. You should be looking for trades to the downside as of now, with stop losses to the upside, and then take it from there on, is my entire thesis. I'm purely going off of data, what the data is telling. If you scroll above a little bit on the Zoom chat, you'll find the data right there. And the data is telling me that the gold is due for a slight pullback before the next leg higher. And I'm going to stick to what the data is telling me and not the headlines. Because if you run especially if you run, let's say, a blog company, or let's say you run a news channel company, you want people to click on your headlines to make money, correct? And people are not going to click on the headlines if I'm telling like gold might go up or gold might go down. I don't know. That's the truth, right? No one knows. But if I tell the gold is the next big investment, and or the investor who made this much money says the gold is the next big investment, you're going to click on it, especially if you're new to the markets, right? So I don't pay attention to the news at all. I just pay attention to the price. The charts are going to tell me everything which I need to know. News are always going to be after the fact narrative based off of what the price has already done. Distractions, not really interested. So, and we're trading it for a shorter term anyway. So we're trading it for a shorter term anyway, right? It's not for something like a longer term short. I'm not shorting gold for, like, let's say down the line, I'm not expecting it to crash. I'm just expecting it to pull back a little before it starts bouncing higher. There's a big difference in the time frame. Gold is still looking absolutely phenomenal, by the way. There's no disagreeing to that, but this is still a shorter term trade.
So with the run that it's been on this year, this was the first time that it's been up 9 consecutive weeks, though. That's the point that you make.
No, that happened before. Like 9 consecutive weeks happened 1, 2, 3, 5 times so far since 1970s, by the way. The first time it happened was during May 8th of 1970. Second time was 1980s of January 18th. Third was May 12th, 2006, August 7th, 2020, and right now, October 17th, 2025. And the funny thing is what comes later. So if you missed that tab before, I'm just going to share it again so you don't have to scroll all the way back in the Zoom. This is the data which I've been looking for. Check out the Zoom chat right now. I just shared it with you. So what comes after is what interests me. If you look at it, 3 days later, we always had a pullback. 4 days later, there was a pullback. 1 week later, there was a pullback. The probability of you making money after 9 weeks in a row, after establishing new positions to the upside, is way lower. There is literally 0% chance of you making money as of now based off of the data which we have. So there's a higher chance for a pullback. So I'm going to go with the data. And if they continue to pull back, good for us. And notice what the hell the headline changes once that pullback happens, by the way.
And this is good, man. Thank you. I appreciate all that game right there.
No worries, man.
Could we check out SoFi real quick?
Yeah, sure. We can look at it. And just before we head into SoFi, who was that? What's the name of the person who was asking for a move? Who was waiting for the put option?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, Inka, it's you. All right. Yeah, and like if you're gonna short gold, you can establish a small position right here, or instead of going with just GLD puts, you can just try GLL calls. By the way, it's way cheaper and way more affordable. Just try the GLL calls, or just go with GLL shares if you're dealing with an account size 2,000 and under. GLL shares 1280 stop loss. Use the template which you got for the using the Chat GPT. Plug it in. Go with it. They're struggling to get back above this 390s as of now. So let's take a look at SoFi. Go ahead.
GLL calls go up when gold goes down.
Exactly. It's the inverse. When gold goes lower, GLL goes higher and vice versa. So I'm recommending GLL because for smaller sized accounts, that 1379 is way more affordable to purchase compared to that of a 389 right here on GLD.
Do you think GLL can hit $14 today?
Today, highly doubted. But hey, who knows? As long as we don't push above the VWAP. If they push above the VWAP, the odds of it goes lower for today hitting, by the way. Let's say something like this happens, right? GLD pushes right towards the VWAP and then continue to reject to the downside. If GLL needs to hit that $14 to the upside or 14.50, GLD needs to pull back towards this 384 to the downside, by the way. Simple. GLD needs to push towards this 384s in order for GLL to hit that 14.15. You are not buying a 0DTE expiration today, are you? Which expires today.
Oh, no, I was just curious, but I was definitely 2 months out.
So most likely, maybe by Monday we might see it. Monday we might see it, possibilities, but not as of now. We'll wait and see how it plays out. So if they pull back towards the VWAP, maybe towards 1366 and hold it. And if they push through, great. Remix. Yep. So with that being said, Qs are flat, SPY is flat, doing absolutely nothing. Rejecting the, and yeah, Detroit, keep an eye out for the VWAP here. Watch out what the SPY is doing as of now. They rejected the 5-day moving average. Now, if they can't get back above the VWAP and continue to fall apart, I will be keeping an eye out for this lows of 659.30s or even towards the 657s to the downside on SPY, by the way.
So you said if it cannot, okay, so it's currently just below the orange line. Does it need to tap it or does it need to close above it?
Let's say they tried, look at the 5-minute candles, right? They're breaking down under the VWAP here. If they cannot get this next 5-minute candle to close above the VWAP, most likely outcome, they're going to come back down towards the 658s and change, or even I need that 653s for any trade, by the way, or at least the 657s before I buy anything on SPY. So if you're looking for call options, wait for that 657 zone, 657.30s in particular. If they get down towards that area, great, good for us. Might offer us some decent trade to the upside from that level. Or we might see the 654 shortly today. And your stop losses need to be near that 664s, by the way, which is the highs of the day. All right, watch out gold here, testing the VWAP, going to be interesting.
And I heard you say 5-minute chart. Is it ever a scenario when you intraday where you're using 1-minute charts, or do you use 5-minute time frames or larger for entries and exits?
Okay, so there is something called as multiple time frame analysis, right? So what I do is I start with daily to mark all these levels out. My entry will be on 2 minutes and 5 minutes, by the way. Typically, I look for the 5-minute time frame to see if they can close above the VWAP or not, and then I go to 2 minutes for entries and exits. That's what I do. I rarely use the 1 minute for entry because there's a lot of false positivity over there. Like, there's a lot of times where like it's gonna confirm.
You think the candle telling you something?
Yeah.
No, I get because I'm learning and I'm like really just learning dojis. I mean, not the candles and stuff like that. And like I'm thinking I'm seeing confirmations, but I'm starting to realize like just what you're saying. I'm not giving the time to really develop what I think I see.
Yes. So trading it with 2-minute time frame with proper stop losses is going to give you, I mean, you're still going to get stopped. You're still going to be wrong a lot of times. It's still going to happen, right? So it's not about being right all the time at the end of the day, correct? It's about making money. So for me, I found better success rate with 2 minutes and 5-minute time frames with setting proper stop losses on. And right now you can see once they broke down under the VWAP, you can see how they're pulling back right now. And when it comes to GLD, GLL, they are under the VWAP, which means gold should have gotten back above the VWAP right now as well. So gold is above the VWAP. And you can see how the markets are moving in inverse with the gold. The gold is pushing up, the markets are pushing down, and vice versa. So what's the VWAP? So I use 2 minutes and 5-minute time frame. And if you're new to the markets, I want you to do this for me. Every time you enter a trade using a particular indicator, journal it. Journal why you entered a particular trade and what made you enter a particular trade and what indicators you used, and then calculate your average winners and calculate your average losers and get your win rates, right? So it's going to tell you how good you are and where you need to modify your entry strategies and exit strategies using the indicators that you're using. It's always about data at the end of the day, man. So get as much as you can and then modify the same based off of your average winners and average losers. Watch gold here, keep an eye out. Let's see what it does. And stop losses still stays. Average upon GLL if they lose a bit. Yes. Yes, that's exactly what we are going for. It'll be great if GC can push towards that overnight VWAP and then reject it though. But let's see. Going to be interesting anyway. I know if you're new, all of these are pretty overwhelming. All these indicators, multiple time frames, when to enter, when to exit, and all these other nonsense, right? But don't worry, the more you trade, the more you're gonna get used to it. I know it doesn't help, but it took me 3 years. So if you're just 1 year into it, take your time. It's a skill, need some time to get honing. All right, so GLL, what is it? What VWAP is it? Is it week to date? No, VWAP from Tuesday. Interesting. Push it through. If they get down under the VWAP, if they get back above the VWAP again, we can just add into it. It should be about our cost basis anyway. We can go for round 2 and then take it towards maybe perhaps some highs.
So when you're looking for entry zone,
go ahead.
A buy position, a good way to find a bottom or a support is looking for the VWAP. Like trading VWAP, you're basically looking for when it dips below for basically like a put, essentially, and above for a bullish.
Yes, to put it simply, that's how it works. To put it as simple as possible, that's how it works. So right now, if you notice this 5-minute candle, is it 5-minute candle? Yep. If you notice this 5-minute candle, they try to rally into the VWAP and you can see them rejecting the same. And now they're pulling back to the downside again, right? So where you set your stop losses matters more here, by the way. So let's say you enter your put right here on SPY, your stop losses should be near that 663s, which means as long as they don't break above 663s, you're going to hold on to your position. And your profit, you're going to hold on to your position until you hit your profit-taking targets at near 657s. So why 653 stop losses is because that's the previous highs, right? The price rallied all the way towards the 653.80s and then pulled back and broke under the VWAP. So if you're going to buy puts right here on SPY, your stop losses should be at 653.77. As long as SPY stays under 653.77, you're going to hold on to your position. And if they continue to keep going lower as they are right now, you're going to take some profits off the table once they hit that 658s and change to the downside. So where you set your stop loss, you're only going to respect that stop losses if you're not over leveraged, by the way. That's another thing to keep in mind. By over leveraged, what I mean is you're going to be wrong 60% of the time if you're day trading. Day trading is not about making money on every single trade. It's about how your portfolio looks after 100 trades in a row. So focus on your risk to reward ratios and your win rate. That's what's going to keep you profitable after 100 trades, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, makes sense.
All
I'm
right, so that's,
digesting it.
yeah. So if you do you use ChatGPT?
I do, but I haven't. Well, I used it last night for the first time for stocks to like find cryptos, aggressive cryptos. But I use it, but not for this.
Okay, so just use the ChatGPT to journal your pattern of behaviors, by the way. So for example, let's say you take a trade today and then that trade didn't go in your favor and then you lost money. All right. How were you feeling personally when you lost money on that trade? Journal it. So technically, you're just using ChatGPT to journal your behaviors rather than asking it to, give you the buy and sell alerts, is what I'm trying to say. That will help you to, catch your repetitive behaviors, which we might have missed out when we are, filled with adrenaline.
What's the benefit of telling ChatGPT how I felt? Like, what does it do for me?
For us, most of the mistakes which we make are repetitive in nature, right? For instance, let's say you take a trade today and trade didn't work out in your favor and you lost like 10% of your account. As a beginner trader, that's a very, very, very possible outcome, right? You're going to get stopped out, you're wrong. And then now how your mindset shifts right now. Is it like, okay, I lost 10%, I'm done for the day, or I lost 10%, I have to make back the 10%, so let me look for another trade. Now, if that second one is your mindset, then that is what we call as revenge trading, by the way.
Yes.
So if it's a revenge trading behavior which you have, that's going to cost you down the line, because sometimes you might make back the 10%, and the next time you take it, you're going to lose 20%. The next trade which you take, you're going to get stopped out on that as well. So now when you log these behaviors, you're going to catch that pattern. When you catch that pattern, it'll help you to work on yourself to get better and not to repeat the same again. That's how it helps you. So it's all psychological, right? Most of the trading is psychological in nature anyway. So when you catch these psychological behaviors, it'll help you stop making the same mistakes over and over and over again. That's how it helps you. So I'll give you a template. Yeah, hold on a minute. I should be having a template right here. I'll share it with you. Just copy paste that template in the ChatGPT, and it is going to track every single behavior which you're having. And by the end of every week, just ask it to review it's going to act like a behavior coach for you, right? Just like how you play in sports, like there is a coach which is going to tell you if you're wrong, who's going to call your bullshit out. This is going to do exactly the same thing, right? So I just posted it in the Zoom chat, just copy paste it elsewhere so that once the meeting is over, you can just experiment with it right here. You can change around your risk parameters, right, to fit your risk appetite, but this will be of great help for you to catch those repetitive behaviors which makes us lose money. So trading is not just about entries and exits at the end of the day. It's mostly about our patterns of behaviors. Simple. All right, another choppy day again, pushing back above the VWAP. So let's see how this 15-minute candle closes. And the funny thing is, the SPY going up, pushing the gold down alongside with it as well. Interesting behavior there. Not yet, Josh. Let this 5 minutes or let this 15-minute candle close. Now you're swing trading it anyway, right? So let this 15-minute candle close. We'll be having more than enough time to, average up or average down or whatever it is.
Can we look at silver if you have a chance?
Silver, SLV. It's been a while. I didn't take a look at it. Oh, silver is right at the 5-day moving average and it's down more than 3%. Jesus. I don't have the data for silver, unfortunately, right? So if we are shorting gold, it's going to have a ripple effect on silver as well. Like silver should be up alongside with gold too. Silver is even more stronger when you look at it, like from August 4th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Silver has been up for 11 weeks straight, unlike gold. So the thesis stays the same for the silver as well, but I don't have the data on silver to go short on silver, or I'll recommend you to get the trades to the downside or whatever it is on silver. Both are still in an uptrend. I'm comfortable with the gold because of the data which I got on gold, right? So if you want to trade silver to the downside, or if you want to buy silver to the upside, well, buying right now, I'm not really interested after a huge rally. If I want to buy it, I need a pullback at least towards like this $43 zones on SLV, 43.91 to be exact. That's the 20-day moving average. If we can pull back there, great. We can go ahead and get involved with SLV for a trade to the upside. But as of now, I'm going to be a little bit vigilant. Silver is just breaking out at yours. Yep. Silver already did. Like silver and gold both did for a while, right? The silver is testing the previous highs at $48 right now. We go to the weekly candle. The last highs which we had was after that post financial crash rally, which is around that 48.30s. The 2008 financial crisis, the post-financial crisis rally, which we had on silver, we are right at that same area, and the price is finding sellers right now. Now, the question you need to ask is, we rallied into this level by being up 11 weeks straight. What are the decent odds? Decent odds is for silver to pull back a little or consolidate, correct through time, build up energy, and then push up to the upside for the next leg up. That's the decent outcome. I would much rather wait for that correction through time before that happens. I think they gave you more morphine when they did your surgery, man. Full port leverage to the tits. They're already leveraged to the tits with GLL, by the way. I believe it's 2x, correct? 2x standard of what the gold is offering. So let's wait and see what we got in store for us. SPY struggling near that VWAP again on the 15-minute time frames. Let's see what they have, what they do throughout the rest of the day. All I'm looking for is how this 15-minute candle is going to close on GLL. If they continue to push through to the upside, good. If not, it's gonna take some time for our swing trading positions to work in our favor. The target still stays the same, though. The best case scenario will be this 1430s for us on our positions. We'll wait and see if they recover the VWAP and close this 15 minutes above the VWAP again. Going to give us an opportunity to size up and complete our positions and leave it be and let it do the work for us. I'm going to give it at least 2 weeks time, by the way. 2 weeks time to let the data work in our favor to see how it plays out. If you're wrong, we won't be losing more than 0.5% anyway. How's the decay? Terrible. Terrible. Just like any other leveraged funds, got to be a bit cautious. Comparable or less. You're not gonna. All right. So let's say if some bullshit happens in the weekend and we see a nasty push up on gold, you're gonna see the GLL drop like a rock again. So the decay is still pretty evident with GLL call options. That's why I say GLL shares instead of GLL calls. GLD puts have better rate of working out in our favor because it doesn't decay like crazy as GLL does. Be a bit aggressive if you're going with call options on GLL, but you can give it some time on GLD puts. That's the advantage for the price which you're paying, the extra price which you're paying. Struggling near the VWAP as of now. All right, the plan is pretty simple. SPY, I'm looking for the $653 to the downside. If they get towards that area, it might offer us some buying opportunities for a potential trade to the upside here. They're struggling near the VWAP. If you're going to buy puts and short SPY, the stop losses should be at that 663 levels. If you already made money for this week, I don't see why there is any necessity to open anything new to capture anything further. If you hit your profit-taking targets for the week, go on, touch some grass, enjoy the rest of the day. But for now, they're still under the VWAP, and if I'm still expecting, as long as they're under the VWAP, I'm expecting it to go down further. And same with GLD. If they can get back, if this 15-minute candle can close above this VWAP and this 30-minute candle, hold on a minute, what's this 30-minute candle is doing? Yeah, if this 30-minute candle can hold this VWAP, we are going to see this next leg to the upside, maybe towards this 395s again. We can average up here,
What
positions, and be done with it. Go on.
Which line is the VWAP? I'm sorry, I was trying to follow you.
On SPY
which
or
one
on
is the
GLD?
VWAP? Oh, the orange one. The orange. I couldn't see it at first. I see it now though.
Oh no, on what ticker symbol? Are you talking about SPY?
Yeah, I just was trying to locate the VWAP line. I see it on this one, the orange line, but I wasn't seeing it at first.
Oh yeah, right now on SPY, it's right here. You can see how the SPY is pulling back. The orange line is at 661 on SPY, by the way, the VWAP, and on GLL, it's at 1367s. So you can notice something here as soon as they broke under the VWAP, how the price is reacting on SPY, that is, right? Under the VWAP, now you can see them pulling back further to the downside. Watch out for the 658 zones. If they continue to push through to the downside, most likely outcome, we're going to see that SPY pushing down towards this pre-market lows. Maybe I like it at 653s first, followed by 651s and change to the downside. Josh, wait for 2 more minutes. Let this 15-minute candle close.
Okay. You want Trading View? That's what you use in Trading View?
Yeah, this is Trading View. The one which you see on my screen is Trading View, by the way.
Yeah.
What software are you using though?
I use Thinkorswim when I'm at home, but when I'm like here at work and stuff, I switch between Robinhood and Thinkorswim. Robinhood just seems more user friendly, but then Thinkorswim has more technical options like the OCO for your entry. I can't do that type of stuff on Robinhood.
So you're right. I mean, if you're using Thinkorswim, you already have a better charting software, by the way. Thinkorswim is way better compared to the Robinhood when it comes to charting. Robinhood sucks.
It's just in the last 2 years, 2-3 years, sure, in the last year, everybody's using TradingView, and it's just making me, feel like is Thinkorswim just outdated now, or
no.
No.
Thinkorswim, like, think of it this way, right? Thinkorswim is both have been around for quite some time, but Thinkorswim is a brokerage. TradingView is not a brokerage. TradingView is just a charting software. With Thinkorswim, you can chart as well as trade at the same time. Whereas TradingView, you can just trade. That's it. You cannot, you can just chart it, right? So I've been using TradingView for almost like 8 years now. I don't have any issues with it. And that doesn't mean Thinkorswim is bad. Thinkorswim is equally good. But if you're new, getting used to TradingView is way easier compared to that of getting used to Thinkorswim is what I'm trying to say, especially for the first year.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's more user friendly.
I have a question. So about this SPY, so what are we targeting here? We're targeting puts.
If you're targeting, if you got in with puts, as long as they don't break above the VWAP, I would hold on to it towards that 658s and change. When they're near that 658s area, take them off the table and leave some runners towards that 655s and change to the downside. As long as they can't break above the VWAP, this is still looking good. All right, Josh, get ready. Maybe it's time to size up on GLL. Add 0.1% more, and we can add more on Monday. Depends on what they do. I don't want to go full sizing today on Friday.
So we adding GLL at these levels from VWAP right now.
Yeah, we are averaging up on it. Like, we already have an initial position, right? Like, we entered at the market open at 30.
Oh, I ain't in it. I ain't in it. I'm trying to get in it.
Oh yeah, so technically this will be our initial position. So if you use ChatGPT, I shared the template, not the one which I shared before. Hold on. Let me copy paste it for you in the Zoom chat. So I want you to only risk 0.3% of your portfolio, by the way. Let's say you're trading with a $2,000 portfolio. Even if you're wrong, I don't want you to lose more than, let's say, $10 maximum. That's all I want you to lose on this trade as of now. All right. So you can buy, like, start your positions with 5 shares. That's it. 5 shares or maximum of 10 shares with your stop losses right here at $12.80. Start your positions and then eventually average up on it as they continue to work in our favor down the line, which will be Monday. So again, we're not expecting it to work out immediately today. So this is a swing trade, by the way. Might take a lot of time to play out in our favor. So let it take its time. Total risk is 0.4. Yeah, leave it at 0.4, Josh. Don't add anything more. Don't add anything less. Don't remove anything as of now. Let the positions do the work. And just, if you're new, and Detroit, if you're just adding, go with the 0.1% risk or 0.2% risk. 5 shares maximum, especially any sized accounts less than 5,000. 5 shares maximum, stop losses at $12.80. We will add 10 more, depends on what they do by the end of the day. I'll let you guys know. I mean, 0.5, so good as well. Yeah. SPY pushing up from this area at 659, still under the VWAP, not generally interested in doing much. All right, so hopefully the plan is clear as of now on the positions which you're in, and try not to overtrade and lose a bunch of money. And most likely done for the day, depends on what it does. So I'll be here for another 5 more minutes. Depends on what it does. We can deal with it. Daily close, yeah, daily. And about the stops on GLL, the daily needs to close under 1280 for us to cut it, by the way. Until, if that's not happening, well, we're not going to be making any changes. 1280, because that's the all-time highs on GLL. Testing the VWAP again on the SPY. Bouncing through from that 659.40 zones. The breakdown under the 659.30s on SPY would be a nice place to size up on the positions if you've gotten, that is. Watch the VWAP. That's it. Watch the VWAP for the day. They're rejecting it, and if they pull back on this candle and lose the 659.30s, we might see potential new lows for the day. Notice today.
You said we might see the potential what?
New lows for the day, which we are talking about, the pre-market lows, maybe 657s and change. For right now, it's SPY.
I've been holding on to one put all day.
I mean, if you notice, like, SPY has moved a whole lot of, like, 50 cents for the day, by the way. Been doing absolutely nothing. So we'll see.
I mean, this is what you call consolidation, right? So in this type of trade, you don't take it, you just let it play out, correct?
Inka, sorry, go ahead.
I said with this type of setup, you just let it play out. You don't mess with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, depends on your risk though. That's one of the main reasons why we set our stop losses, right? As long as they don't make new highs, there's no reason to just, like, keep fiddling around with them. But just make sure, even if you get stopped out, you shouldn't lose more than 1% or 1.5% of your entire account, by the way. If you're losing like 10, 20, 30%, you're over leveraged. Time to size down. But here, as long as they don't make new highs, which is closing 5-minute candles or 15-minute candles above 664s in general, let it play out. I can hear panic in your voice. What's going on?
No.
You good?
I'm not in it, so I'm just watching.
Good.
So I'm just trying to figure.
So like this.
So So with this, so are you thinking it's gonna come down to 57 or it can break
To be honest,
above?
Tinka, I have no idea what it's going to do. No one does, right? It's all probabilities, right? As long as they
Yeah.
stay under the VWAP, there's higher chances that we might see new lows. So that's one of the main reasons they got under the VWAP. We got in, we set the stop losses at the highs of the day. And if they break above the highs of the day, well, we're wrong. We're going to get stopped out for a small loss, right? And if we
Yeah.
didn't get back over the VWAP, and if they break down under the 659.40 lows, there's higher chances that we might see the 657s or even further lower. Simple,
Okay.
right? It's always
But right
about
now
the
we're leaning
probabilities.
towards, but right now we're leaning towards put, right?
As long as they can't close this 15-minute candles above the VWAP, yes.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, just a minute, boys. Let me go pick up my food. I'll be back in like a minute. Just a minute. Apologies, everyone. We're back. Just got some pizza. Still under the VWAP from the looks of it. Interesting. Take a close. We're still holding on towards the VWAP on the GLL. What an interesting day, isn't it? SPY is up a whole 40 cents.
Hi, do you think you have a chance to look at Amazon? I'm currently in a call that's expired
Today?
and no, yeah, my call expires on November 21st, but
25.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna just take the loss and sell it or just sit on it for a little while.
When did you enter though? The answer to it depends on where was your entry.
I'm sorry?
The answer to that question is going to be dependent on where you placed your entry at, how much your position is down at the moment.
Oh, 50%.
Oh boy. So
Yeah.
you need to make around
One contract, but still, like it's
what's the strike price?
1 second. It was a $250
Oh, 250?
Yeah, so that's far off, and that was
Yeah,
bought almost a month ago. So
you're looking for new all-time highs on Amazon, aren't you?
yeah, I wasn't really doing the analysis. I was just hoping.
Oh boy. So my question to you is fairly simple. Let's say if this contract expires worthless, how much percentage of your account will be down the drain?
I would say about the account is 2,600, and right now it's down 200.
So, which means you have 200 more left.
Yeah.
On the contract. So if this expired worthless, your account will be down somewhere around 20% overall.
Okay. So yeah, that's pretty high. Yeah. I was never looking I didn't look at it. When I purchased it, I was not thinking like how you said, like the percentage down from the whole account.
Mhm.
I just bought it. It was just me winging it, but I'm trying to
Yeah.
get better.
That's all right. Like we
Um,
all make mistakes. So what when you're learning, right? So that's one of the main reasons when, especially when we are just starting out, when we're learning, try not
right.
to make the same mistakes which I did before, which made me lose $10,000 on my first year of trading.
Oh
Right.
Lord.
So I did the exact same thing what you're doing, like because I winged it with Tesla. I made $3,000 on my first trade. That's where all the trouble started. Right.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
after,
I know
yeah,
that I got some lucks and I'm like, okay, maybe I can just try this. And it's Amazon. I've had it for a few years. It'll get back. Just optimism without doing the analysis. And
the
yeah,
problem is with these options, you're fighting time. You need to be
correct.
right at that particular time frame, right? So ask yourself, is there any probability for Amazon to push up around on a percentage basis, which is talking about a 20% move to the upside? And they don't
No.
even, yeah, they don't even have earnings until October 30, by the way.
Yeah, not till November.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not for my expiration date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely not.
I
So October, November, I mean, you can do this, right? If you don't mind letting this expire worth this, you can try holding it through the earnings and see how it plays out. Maybe the earnings goes exceptionally well for Amazon and Amazon just pushes all the way towards the new all-time highs. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll do
maybe,
that.
I mean, maybe I'm feeding into the delusion here, but that's not a good thing to do.
No, but
But,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I'll do that because I'm already down
Yeah, so
50%.
something to keep in mind because you're down 50% and you're already down, like if this entire trade goes down the drain, you will be losing somewhere around like what 20% of your entire account. Try not to, something to take away from this is try not to take trades which will wipe out like 10% or 20% of your entire account for one particular trade, by the way, because
Right, I heard you said that earlier.
yeah, the first year of trading is all about survival. Right? It's
Yeah.
all about survival. So your goal shouldn't be making $100 a day. Your goal should be not losing 1% or 2% of your account per day.
Huh. Okay.
When you fix that, the second year, making that $100 is going to follow you automatically. You don't even have to try because you learned how to lose properly.
Correct. Yeah,
Right?
that's a good way. Yeah.
Just something to keep in mind.
Thank you. Absolutely. But thank you. And you said earnings is when for Amazon?
October 30.
30th. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see how
Thank
it
you.
goes. No problem.
Yeah, let's see.
Hopefully
Thank
it
you.
goes well. Hopefully some miracle happens.
Right? No, that's a bet right there. We'll see.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. And Yinka, and for Detroit, you see how the VWAP is holding on right here? How the price trying to break above it multiple times, couldn't do so, pulling back down.
Yes.
If they break this lows here, watch out for price to get a little bit aggressive to the downside. I mean, we might break down right here, by the way, shortly. If they break down, watch out for the 658s or even towards the 657.30s to the downside, by the way. If you have multiple contracts, that's a place where I'll be looking to take some profits off the table.
You said you'll be looking to take some profits off the table around the 657
Yeah,
price range.
if you have multiple contracts, yes.
I'm just holding one I'm holding one contract.
Yeah,
It's
so
a day contract.
Yep. So the best thing to do, that's one of the main reasons why going multiple is going to help you a lot. I know it can be a bit scary, especially you're new, because the perspective of losing a lot if you're wrong is a bit scary. But having multiple contracts is going to help you manage your positions a little bit better. So you can get out of one position and leave one runner on the table and let that runner do the work for you as you covered your initial risk. Right now they just broke down under, so now this level on the 5-minute time frame is going to act as a potential resistance. Keep an eye out. We're talking about the 659.50 to 659.40 zones. A good bounce up.
So you say 659.50 is a resistance.
Yeah,
659.50.
Now, right now, that's
Okay,
going
and
to
then we
act as a
looking at
resistance. If they pull down here, we can see this push down towards the 658 to 657 is a little bit more aggressively to the downside.
and I'm noticing like even right now though, so I just you already answered this earlier. I'm just doubling down. You never break down to a 1 minute chart. You always stay at least in a 5 minute time frame before you make a decision.
Yeah, 5 minutes. See, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. It all going to tell you the exact same thing. So when I am looking for entries, I look for 2 minutes and 5 minutes. That's it. 1 minute is very rare for me to keep an eye out for, because I only keep an eye out for it when there is like 1 minute left on the 15-minute time frame to close, or 1 minute left on the 5-minute time frame to close, and so on, to see what the price is doing. But my entry decisions is not going to come from these 5-minute time frames, or sorry, this 1 minute time frame at the end of the day. You got to understand, I don't look at the 1 minute time frame because my average holding times on my day trades is around 25 to 28 minutes, by the way. So I don't have the necessity to enter on a 1 minute time frame, is what I'm trying to say. If you're scalping, 1 minute is not bad. Right, that's a nasty 15-minute candle. Let's see how this goes. The next one, maybe 660s, rejection to the downside. Who knows? Whole lot of nothing today. SPY is up, or SPY is down a whole 65 cents. What a beautiful day.
Could we take a look at Tesla?
Sure. Hold on a minute. Where are you? Tesla, it should be here somewhere.
I got a question while you're pulling up Tesla. You're using VWAP, not Anchor VWAP, right?
I use anchored VWAPs, but when you're using the regular VWAP or anchored VWAP from 930, it's going to be at the same exact spot. So, for example, if you're using regular VWAP, when it comes to SPY today, the VWAP is at 661, correct? Around that 661 zones. If I'm using anchored VWAP, it's going to be at 661. If I'm using regular VWAP, it's going to be the exact same spot. The only reason why I use anchored VWAP is because if the anchored VWAP has price memory, the VWAP resets itself every single day, right? So once today's session is over, the VWAP is going to reset, and then the next day you're going to get a new VWAP, by the way. But when it comes to anchored VWAP, it's going to hold on and it has price memory to it. It's going to act as like how a moving average would. But the regular VWAP is just only for day trading. You can't swing trade using regular VWAP.
So Anchor VWAP is for swing trades, and the other one is for the regular VWAP is for day trade.
Correct. Bingo. So because the regular VWAP resets itself on a daily basis, so we can't swing trade with regular VWAP, and we can't make any decisions based off of it. What are we looking at Tesla? So I don't see anything of they're under the VWAP as well. They're under that 434 zones. If they can't recover the VWAP, most likely we're going to see this 429 tag, which is the 5-day moving average. If they lose that 429.30s, then 423s will be next. As long as they don't get its ass back about 435s, that's the next area I'll be looking out for, the 429 zones. SPY breaking down here. As you can see, the sellers are stepping in. The 5-minute candles are struggling here to close above that 659.50 zones. So most likely outcome, we might see the 658 shortly. And once we see it, you can take some off the table. Or if you want to be a little bit greedy, you can let the price go towards the 657.30s and change and make the decision right over there. GLL pushing higher again from the VWAP. Beautiful.
Just real quick, you saying you believe Tesla is going to continue to push down if it stays below the VWAP?
Yeah, if they stay below the VWAP, most likely outcome, we're going to see that 5-day moving average tag at around that 430 zones. Most likely outcome, that is. But if they get back above the VWAP again, I mean, if you're looking to buy puts on this, stop losses, you can just set it right here at 438. But if you're setting it at 438, you need Tesla to fall under 428, by the way, to get a good risk to reward trade.
So you said set your stop loss at where again? I'm sorry.
If you entered somewhere around 434, so your stop losses should be at around that 438.50s.
Okay.
But if it
But where would you go ahead? If it continues, go ahead. If it continues to go down,
428.95 to 429 will be the first area of interest. And
okay.
if they continue to drop under, then 423s to the downside is what I'll be watching for. So
All right, thank you.
remember, if Tesla needs to continue to the downside, you need QQQ to fall apart alongside with it as well.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Mario, when you day trading and you looking for like solid entries and exits, what information matters? And when I say it, I'm coming from the context of like when we talking about previous days highs, previous days lows, pre-market highs, like what numbers really matter when you marking off where we can look to find support, where we can look to find resistance and things like that?
All right. So I'm going to put it this way, right? There are millions of entry strategies out there when it comes to the markets. For instance, you use EMAs for potential entries and exits so far. I use anchored VWAPs. And there are different traders who use something called as fair value gaps, by the way. And there are separate amount of traders who just use price action, just trade using support and resistance levels, right? But the thing here is, there are traders who I know uses this pre-market highs and lows. And then as soon as the market opens at 4 o'clock, they're going to wait until 7:30 a.m. EST or 8:30 a.m. EST, and then mark the pre-market highs and mark the pre-market lows. And once the market is open, the price will tag its pre-market highs. And if they find sellers around the pre-market highs, they're going to buy puts against that level, and vice versa. When the price tags the pre-market lows, they're going to buy calls against the level and so on, right? There are traders who trade that way as well. And there are traders like me who just trade using VWAP. And there are traders like you who just trade using EMAs. So when you put it that way, saying that what level that matters, it matters depending on the system which you're using. So some level might matter to you, which might seem really insignificant to me. And some level which matters to me might seem actually insignificant to you based off of your system, right? So that's the thing about levels. You don't know what is support and what is resistance until after the fact the market tells you, correct? For instance, when it comes to Tesla, I have a line at 434.91. I don't know if that level is going to act as a support or resistance until after the fact, right? Market might act as a support, market might act as a resistance around here. For instance, right here on Tesla, this is a 5-minute time frame, around 10:10 in the morning. This level Tesla just melted right through it, like it didn't even exist. But when they came back down right here around 10:40, that level acted as support. Right? We only know it after the fact is my entire point. So all I can say is, if you're going to use the pre-market highs and pre-market lows, and if you're going to combine it with your EMA strategy, test it out. Take at least 25 trades using the same system, and then write down every time you win how much you're making, and every time you lost how much you're losing. And if you take 25 trades, out of the 25 trades, how many trades you won, how many trades you lost. So this is how you build your system, by the way. So all I can say, start somewhere, start with one strategy and stick to it throughout your entire trading career. Just build off on top of it, right? So you're using EMAs right now. So let's say you're learning.
Well, that's why I was waiting to just say, like, the EMAs is something new, but I mean, based off what I'm learning today specifically, the VWAP, I'm new to day trading, but the game that you're giving me is specific to what I'm trying to be successful at, which is day trading. So, you know, I'm really looking to integrate the VWAP, but I just added the indicator on my Robinhood app, but you know, I really want to look more into the VWAP and fine tuning that as a trade strategy for, you know, the SPY.
All right, so I'll recommend you a book. If you're into reading books, that book is going to help you big time to get things started with VWAP, by the way. If you have time, I should be having a PDF copy of that book. If I don't find it, I'll just type in the name.
Oh no, I'll go buy it. You told me that, I'll go buy it.
All right, so let me just type it in for you in the Zoom chat. Hold on. Maximum trading gains using VWAP.
I'm in the middle of reading Charting and Technical Analysis by Fred McMahon or something like that. But this is the first book I read on. Okay, yeah, I kept hearing it come on about halfway through it, but no, I'm definitely gonna check it out. Whatever you're saying.
Yep. So I just typed it in the Zoom chat. The name of the book is Maximum Trading Gains Using Anchored VWAPs. The author name is Brian Shannon. right? So get that book and start studying that book. There you go. Josh just posted the PDF copy of the book in the chat as well. So use this
Okay. All
weekend
right. Thank
and
you so
study
much.
this book. The beauty about this book is this book goes over multiple examples on how to trade different setups. All right. So download this book and start studying if you want to learn more about the VWAP, by the way. All right. And
Oh,
then
that's a fact. Thank you.
if you're not a book person and if you just wanna go to YouTube and check it out, just go to YouTube and search for Brian Shannon. I'll type in his name. He has a lot of podcasts talking about the anchor. He's the one who designed the anchored VWAP, by the way. He's the one who pioneered it. So he's been trading for almost like 40 years now. Almost half of his life has been trading, and he's the one who created all these anchored VWAPs and all those other things. So give it a go. And he has a lot of great resources when it comes to how to trade the VWAP and how to take advantage of the VWAPs. So give it a go, give it a read. Might be of great help.
We are putting together.
So with that being
Great stuff.
So with that being said, if you guys have any other questions, let me know, or else, yeah, we can.
I have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Question.
Go
Just,
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Have you ever looked at the RSI? Because I've been trying to make a decision.
I can see where this is going about RSI. And if you are learning about if it's overbought, then like just buy puts, and if it's oversold, then buy calls. I have a news for you. Hold on just a minute. I'm looking for the video up for you, so I'll share it.
Okay.
Go to YouTube. You know what? I'll just say it. You are using RSI wrong by Michael Noss. There you go. You know, the goal is not to buy or sell oversold or overbought stocks. The goal is to buy stocks which doesn't get to this oversold conditions to begin with. Just a minute.
Oh.
There should be an article from Michael Noss. I'm just looking for. There it is. Found it. Sure. All right. It's a 5-minute video which goes over how to use RSI.
Okay.
If it's a little bit complicated, reach out to me. It's because based off that's how I started, right? When I started, I thought if you use RSI, if a stock is overbought, which means you need to short it, you need to buy puts on it. But if the stock is oversold, which means the reversal is in cards, the stock might continue to reverse to the upside. And the funny thing is, they took this concept and then they back tested it and bought every single stock which is oversold and sold every single stock which is overbought. All right. So they just did this back testing, and that portfolio yielded a net return of negative 68% after the span of 20 years. Right. So think about it this way. When does a stock get overbought?
News, speculation.
No, which means when a stock has been rallying up big time to the upside, that's when it gets overbought, correct?
Oh, yeah.
So which means a stock in an uptrend gets overbought. If a stock has been trading in an uptrend for quite some time, it's technically overbought. And when does a stock get oversold? A stock get oversold if a stock has been selling off like there's no tomorrow, aka if a stock is in a downtrend. So technically, when you're buying a stock which is oversold, you're buying a downtrend, correct? And if a stock which is going overbought and you're buying puts on it, you're technically going against the trend by buying puts on a stock which is in an uptrend.
Yeah,
so
I've done, yeah.
Yeah, so technically look at it this way. What does RSI stands for? Relative Strength Index, correct? It says in the name, when it's overbought, the stock is showing relative strength. Why will you buy puts against it? Right? So if the stock is oversold, it's showing relative weakness. So why will you buy calls on stocks which is oversold? And a stock can stay oversold for a long period of time, by the way. And a stock can stay overbought for a long period of time as well. So the goal is not to buy stocks which are oversold, but goal is to buy stocks which doesn't get to this oversold conditions to begin with. Imagine there is a stock which when selling off, but it never gets oversold. Every time it gets near that zone, buyers always pick it back up. That's uptrend. That's relative strength. That's how you use RSI. Looking for stock which never gets to this oversold conditions. Simple. So look
Yeah,
up, check that
yeah,
video by the way.
that's okay. I'll look it up because I never I didn't know that. I didn't know that part of it. I was just going by what, the general population, what they would say, just follow and just make a decision. But like I said, I'm trying to get better with the analysis. And this is my first call with you, and this has been very helpful.
Good to have you here as well. So that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like
thank you.
when before using any indicators, just don't look at a YouTube video and immediately go and implement it. And if you're be a little bit of a nerd is what I'm trying to say. Like if you're learning about an indicator, geek the hell out. Like go and look at how these indicators are calculated, why this indicator brings in buyers at a particular level. The most of the answers for your question will be given when you just look at the math behind those indicators and how it's calculated.
Okay.
Right? When you go deeper into that rabbit hole, it's going to help the learning curve a little bit better. And you're going to learn a little bit faster as well. So that's one of the main reasons. Like RSI, look at that video. He's going to go over how it's calculated and also the back-tested data alongside with it as well.
Okay.
All right. So bookmark
Thank
that video and check out this guy. He's really good as well. He's a CMT and he's a really good trader too. So feel free to check him out too.
Okay.
Mark, can I ask you one more question?
Feel free to, man.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you. I really, really appreciate this. My question is, I want to use a use case scenario with this VWAP, and I'm looking to get a position in MP materials.
MP. Let's take a look. All right. So now tell me, what's your analysis? Based off of what you know.
I see it's in a strong uptrend. It's right there in the same sector where USA are. I know what the company is. I know 8250 was a good spot for support. It broke that today. I know we was looking at 75 as another place to find, some support. I wasn't looking at the phone, but I see that we're down in the 70s, and I definitely see this just having a huge run. I just wanted to lock in Elite. And I just ain't want to lock it in at a bad spot. I can see us going down to 75, maybe lower. I don't want to be too ambitious and try to lock it in right here at 79 when I know it already broke the 8250 support. So I just kind of wanted to get some guidance while I had you.
All right. So this is a strong uptrend. You're right. There is nothing to deny that part, number one. All right. And number two, and your worries of getting in at a bad spot makes sense as well, because if you go to the shorter time frames, like 5 minutes or 15 minutes, they are trading under the 5-day moving average. And for the last 5 trading days, if you go to the 5 minutes and just zoom out, you can see the stock has been having a series of lower highs and lower lows, correct? So right here, they've just been selling off. There is a high, there is a lower high, there is a lower high, there is a lower high, and it's just not been in an uptrend for quite some time now, at least for the last 5 trading days. So if you're planning to buy something for a swing trade, especially for a leap, better to wait for the stock to show some strength, which means you need the shorter term trend to change in the favor of the bulls. You need the shorter term trend to do something like this. Let's say 75 is your level which you're watching, right? Let's say the price tags are 75, and then start doing something like this, bounce from 75 and start doing something like this, forming a series of higher highs and higher lows. Wait for that first higher low. So you don't have to catch this move right here. You just have to wait for them to pull back for this lower high, and you just have to get involved here around this lower high, around that $80 zone, and you can set your stop losses at the 75 after you get involved. So now you got an additional confirmation that the buyers are starting to take control of the trend instead of trying to guess something right here. Again, remember, goal is not to buy the bottom, by the way. Goal is to make money. You don't need to buy the bottoms to make money, by the way. You just need to buy the strength. Right? So wait for it. Let them start logging a higher high and higher low on the shorter time frame. You're going to be having more than enough time to get involved in your positions, by the way. All right.
Okay, thank you, man. You probably just saved me from doing something crazy.
Yeah, so again, you might miss, like, let's say they did rally. Let's say they did rally towards $84 right today. Instead of looking at it from a standpoint of, I should have entered right here, now look for an opportunity. Okay, they did rally from that $79 zone support level and pushed and recovered the VWAP. Now, if they hold the VWAP, that's your opportunity for an entry. Instead of getting pissed for not catching the bottom, now your mind
Where is the VWAP?
On this one today, they are way under it. The VWAP for today on this one is around $82. They're way under the VWAP. There is absolutely no reason to get involved.
Looking on this phone, it'd be hard. I'd be missing. Because I'd be zooming in and stuff. I see. Okay, I see.
Right. So another example for you, by the way, look at Tesla. Tesla, they rallied right in. They broke down under the VWAP. They rallied right into it, rejected the VWAP again at 434s, and now they're pulling back towards 430 once again. Most likely, they're going to test that 430s to the downside right now. So this is the thing, like VWAP keeps it a little bit simple. And when it comes to technical analysis, simplicity is what's going to help you survive in the long run, by the way. So you can see when it comes to SPY, same thing. I've been saying this since the morning. If they broke under the VWAP, set the stop losses at the highs of the day and take it down. Right here, it just hit your first target, which we're talking about, around that 658 zones. They're making new lows here. And if they continue to break down, 657s will be the next area of interest I'd be keeping an eye out for. Right? So for just wait for it on MP is what we're talking about, right? Yep, just keep an eye out for it. Wait for it. There's absolutely no reason to get involved at this moment right here. Let them pull back further, maybe towards the 50-day moving average. $71
before
and change. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just before you move this chart right here, looking at this chart right here that you got set up with this VWAP right here. Let me zoom back in, man. I'm on the phone. Okay, I would have got if we was going to the downside. We would have got in at the 430. Where that number? 430, like 434.50 or something like that.
Correct.
The candle with the long wick.
Right here, like let's say like this candle would have given you an opportunity. The back test of the VWAP and then the rejection. Initial positions right here with stop losses right here at 438, and they pulled back and they bounced up towards the VWAP again, rejected, and this is going to give you an opportunity to average up on your position to add more contracts right there. And now as they broke down to make new lows, you're going to start taking profits. As they near that 429s and change, you're going to start taking profits along the way. All right, so the simpler you keep, the better it gets, and combine this with proper risk management, which is not risking more than 1% of your portfolio per trade, you're going to have a proper system in place. And that is going to give you longevity, which you're looking for, aka consistency. So something to keep.
And this is TradingView you're using right now?
Correct, yes. This is TradingView. The software which you see on my screen is TradingView. And again, you don't have to pay for it the first month. You can give it a try. I think the first month is free for TradingView. I wouldn't, because I understand some people will be using VBull charts here and Detroit. Hey, use a Detroit. What's your name, man? I don't want to keep calling you the city's name, Detroit.
No, my name Chris, CHRIS.
Chris, yeah. All right. Like Chris is using TOS and he also uses Robinhood. So it's just a charting software, correct? I'm comfortable with TradingView because TradingView has anchored VWAPs on it. So unfortunately, VBull doesn't. So that's one of the main reasons why I don't use VBull charts. It doesn't fit my system and the way I analyze the price. So TradingView has been doing exceptionally well for me. So if you, it's beginner friendly as well, because I started with TradingView. When I started trading on my first 1 month or 1.5 months, I got into TradingView when my trading journey began, right? So since then, I've been using TradingView. So it's pretty decent.
And you said that's because it includes anchored VWAP, and anchored VWAP is more for swing trade.
Correct. Yes. So I am predominantly a swing trader. So majority of the
which is what I aspire to be, but
so there is one, like we will be going live mostly like 3 times or 4 times a week, right? So the more you join these lives, the better it's going to get, because if it will be lucky for us if you take like 3 trades a month, by the way, when it comes to swing trading. 3 trades a month or 4 trades a month, that's it. Like there are, I mean, Josh, if he's still here, like most of the members here or myself, like last month we didn't take any trades, by the way. Zero,
Okay.
absolutely zero, because nothing fit the needs, because we were expecting markets to pull back and it just continued to kept going up. And either
Yeah.
most of the stocks which we had are either gapping up, ruining the entry, or gapping down and not giving us the entry, right? So there will be months which are dry as hell, but there'll be it's like example of when it rains, it pours sort of thing. When it's giving you the setup, you'll be having like 5-10 setups and you have to pick like 2 or 3 from it. When there's nothing, well, there ain't going to be nothing for like 2-3 weeks straight. So
Okay. Okay.
the
And
less
it sounds like the key is to find the balance, like
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the key is to trade as little as possible, is what I'm trying to say. The less you trade, the better it gets when it comes to the performance. And when it comes to options, what if I tell you, like, for this year, I took like 4 option trades so far.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
This whole year?
Yep, whole year. And I only swing trade using shares. And it's very rare to enter options. Very, very rare.
Okay.
And last trade which I entered was Meta puts. That was the last trade. And the trade before that was DIA puts to the downside. Right? So DIA, I still have some runners left on the table. And Meta, I still have the runners left on the table. And that was like the 3rd and 4th trade for the year.
Okay.
So trade as little as possible, and you will be making a decent amount of money. All right. So something to keep in mind. Teaches patience. Yep, exactly. Metaputs is a great trade. Yeah, it was like what we got in around about 715, and it went all the way towards the 695-ish to the downside. I'm still going to hold on to the runners for the stops at break evens right now, by the way. So the less we trade, the more we make, sort of logic.
Right. And this is Meta you just mentioned?
Yeah, don't enter right now. Don't enter right now. We entered it like when that Friday pullback happened. We entered right there at around 715 or 716s, and I closed some on Monday or Tuesday. I don't remember. So I closed some on Monday. Now it's just the final runners left on the table. So we will enter a lot of trades down the line. Once the earnings seasons begins, that's our forte, by the way. Every time a stock reports earnings, we're going to be trading those stocks which gaps up after the fact. That's the only setup we go for over and over and over again, by the way.
Okay, because I know some people try to trade it before the fact, but you're saying after. Okay.
Yeah, no holding on to positions during earnings, by the way. Absolutely not.
Okay.
So we don't trade into earnings. It's very rare. That's gonna be that goes for any binary events, by the way. Any binary events? Absolutely not. Zero. If there is a big news event the next day, we are not going to be holding on to a stock which is going to be directly impacted by the news events. The reason for it is there is absolutely no way to set proper stop losses on things like that. So if there is no reason, there's no place to set stop losses, there's no trade. Simple as that.
Okay, that makes sense.
You'll get a hang of it. Like the more meetings you join, you're going to get a sense of how we operate here. So it's going to make more sense.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. So with that being said, let's see. How can I make a payment today? For one-on-ones, it will be through the Zoom calls, right? So it's not going to be a live meet. I have to check my schedule. I have some slots open for tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, Saturday will be open. So Saturday will be good.
And is this
can
Zoom?
you drop?
Oops, sorry. I just had a quick question. Is this Zoom recording going to be available after it's done?
Yes. So after it's done, it's going to take like at least like half an hour to process. Once the processing is done, I'll upload it on my YouTube. I should be getting it by today evening. By today
Is
evening.
the link to
Go ahead, man.
Is the link to get with you on a one-on-one? Is that in the Discord? I found that in the Discord.
Oh, no. Let me post it here. I was just talking to I just had a question, so I was just answering the question over there. For the links to one-on-ones, I'll just post it in the Zoom chat right now. You should find it in the Discord as well under the live trading sections. So I do have some slots open Saturday and Sunday this weekend. Monday, I won't be available. There won't be any live streams on Monday, but from Tuesday, we should be back on schedule. So if you're going to make a booking, just reach out to me once the booking is done so I can send you the calendar link so we can schedule the slots from there on. With that being said, most likely I am done for the day, and I don't want to keep trading this nonsense. Especially SPY is up like a whole 10 cents from the market open. What a beautiful day, isn't it? So don't waste your time. Go do something else. Enjoy the rest of the day. Touch some grass. Stay hydrated. Drink water. Enjoy the weekend. I will talk to you guys. How do we reach you to schedule? No. Once you make the booking, I will text you through the WAP directly. On the same app, I'll text you, or you can just text me in the Discord. You know my username. You can just text me in the Discord, or you can write down my email ID. You can just reach out to me right there directly. stocks2bonds@gmail.com. So I just send my email ID over there. Once you make the booking, just reach out to me over there through the email. I will send you the links from there on directly.
Mario, if you don't mind, good morning. Could you tell me what your layout is through the week? I joined late, so I'm not sure what you do Monday through Thursday and what
all right.
days.
So technically, typically we have Monday mornings, Tuesday mornings, and Friday mornings, right? So that will be the schedule. This week we won't be having any Zooms for Monday mornings. I won't be available. But for this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Fridays are the paid ones, and Mondays and Tuesdays are typically free.
And what time do they start normally?
9:15 a.m. EST, same time every day.
Okay.
All right, so you can tune in, and Mondays and Tuesdays free, and for Fridays it's the same as today.
Okay, thank you.
Right, no problem. And once the bookings are done, just reach out to me through the email and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So for slots for soon, I do have 2 available for Saturdays and Sundays. And if there is none available, if it's booked, I'll let you guys know. All right. Have a good rest of the day, everyone. Take care, and I will talk to you guys shortly. Bye-bye.